Why, was there another event I wasn't invited to that I don't know about in town?
The Republican Town Committee meeting, if you want to join.
Yes.
And you can join the Democrat one if you're a Democrat, but last night was the Republican one.
We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. That's why the flag.
All
All
right.
right, the recording's going.
I wasn't invited.
All right. All right. So we'll call the meeting in
Okay, you're
order.
ready. Yep.
At 7:04. We have Tracy present, myself, Jack, Al Binder, and we also have a guest, Matthew House. So do we have February minutes to vote on?
I sent you guys the minutes for February, I think. Whatever ones Diana sent them to me during Facebook Messenger because her computer wasn't working and I had to copy and paste them and sent them to you guys. So
Okay.
I make a
no one
motion
for
to,
them. We can do them at the next meeting because I think that was like Friday when I sent them.
Okay. So maybe that's what I saw. Jack, were you about to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve them with the one correction. The word focus is spelled wrong. It's like in the middle of the page there on the right side. So we just make that correction with focus, but other than that, I make the motion to approve.
All right, I'll second to approve as amended.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. All right. All right. So we'll move on to our guest, Matthew House. He's from, well, I guess I'll let you kind of introduce what you're talking about because I don't really know. So.
Okay, my name is Matthew House. I'm president of the Connecticut Off-Road Enthusiast Coalition. We are a nonprofit organization, a 501c4 to be exact. We've been incorporated since 2016, and we're basically an organization that is advocating for motorized recreation enthusiasts, basically. And since we don't really have much of that in the state of Connecticut, it seemed to be necessary to do something like that for a lot of reasons, not only for the fact that there's a lot of people out there that really want this, also for the fact that there is a lot of land abuse happening in the state. There's a lot of illegal land use as far as people trespassing or abusing state property, trying to do what they consider their sport. So the best thing to do is try to, make friends with everybody that's supposed to be involved, like the DEP, the Forestry Division, and all that stuff, the towns, government, all of that stuff. So I've been working on that for the last 5 years, and I think we're at the point now where we can actually start producing something and start really communicating with our leaders. We already have a good relationship with the DEP. I'm actually attending Greenway Council meetings. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all, but I attend those pretty regularly. In fact, we got an award last year from them for advocacy group of the year, I think it was. But besides that, I do have a presentation to give today, and it's really not that long, and it's not too in-depth because this is more of an economic thing than it is about how the plan would actually work. That is for a different time and a different place. And usually that's going to happen with the audience of the DEP and the park manager, because we're going to be talking about Patchogue Forest as well today. So,
Okay.
So I am going to try to share my screen.
Yep, you should be able to.
Yeah, bear with me. So it says it's disabled.
Oh, you know what? We had to do that for Zoom bombings. I don't know how to. It's the master settings. Let me see. It says one can share advanced screen. Okay. Who can share? All right. I'm letting you see if this works.
Yay. Okay.
Okay.
So let me share. And all right. If I could
That was
find
pretty
my
quick.
first slide. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the title of the, everybody can see that?
Yeah,
We're all good? Okay. We're really trying to examine the economic impacts of what would happen to a place like Voluntown if we actually had a place for motorized recreation. And this specifically is going to be covering 4x4 or Jeeps. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with those vehicles. So let's get to it. There's just an aerial photo of Voluntown that I found online. So the first thing I want to do is I want to clearly define what segments of outdoor recreation there are. That way everybody's on the same page. And you'll see here all the familiar ones like camping, hunting, fishing, and all that stuff. Then you'll see off-roading in the middle there. And we want to solely pay attention to 4x4 and Jeep. We're not going to consider ATVs. That's a conversation for a different time, different place. Just 4x4 and Jeep at this time. So I narrowed it down to basically 3 off-roading groups that we're going to be trying to attract to a place like Voluntown. And the first one is these guys in the upper right. These are overlanding vehicles. There's several groups in New England that do this sort of thing. There's hundreds of groups nationwide that do this sort of thing. And they show up with their vehicles. They're self-sustaining pretty much. They bring everything they can possibly bring with them. Their families, number one. Number 2, all their camp equipment, food, and so on and so forth. So they don't really need a place to go find for lodging or anything. They usually camp. So those guys actually have highly modified vehicles, but only for the sense of being self-sustained out in the wilderness, pretty much. So they actually like to travel on light trails, nothing too crazy. Like I'm sure you've seen videos where they're jumping up in the air and breaking things and stuff like that. And that's not that. That's not them. So the next group is going to be what's called rock crawling. And it is exactly how it sounds. These vehicles are purpose built for crawling over rocks. They do about maybe 2 miles an hour. The owners put a lot of money into them to modify them so they don't break, but they still do. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of skill and actually teamwork, because usually you have people kind of coaching you where to go, because it's not always that easy. And then the third group is going to be what I call trail drivers. And these folks, oftentimes, this is like their main vehicle. This is all that they have. They have a Jeep and they modify it lightly, and then they take it out in the trail and then they drive it home, and then they got to go to work on Monday. So they tend not to do the rock crawling. They tend not to do the overlanding. So they just go out for the weekend and come back home. So those are the main 3. There are other types of off-roading, and we do not want to attract that sort of thing. And what I mean by that other group is going to be the folks that like to do mud bogging. And that does a lot of damage to the flora and fauna of the area. So we're not too interested in developing a trail system for that sort of vehicle or that group. So where does off-roading fall in the list of outdoor recreation? We're talking about dollars and cents here. And this list is in no particular order, but you'll see that off-roading has a very big piece of the pie. It's pretty self-explanatory about where all the money is being spent as far as retail. You know, it does attract jobs, and of course, taxes on the end part there. So where does outdoor recreation stack up? And I'm talking about all of outdoor recreation, not just off-roading. And this basically compares outdoor recreation to other parts of our economy, basically. So we have hospital care. Obviously, healthcare is going to be at the top of the list. But you'll see that off-roading, or actually outdoor recreation, I'm sorry, outdoor recreation is just behind financial services and insurance, which is a pretty big part of the economy at this point. So what would something like this benefit? How would it benefit the town? And this is just a short list of things that would take place if we had something like this here in Voluntown. It would increase, local traffic businesses. It would make the town more attractive to small business, probably bring in more business to the town because we're going to have more people in the area spending money, doing things. They want to eat lunch, they want to spend their money. Because when they come to an off-roading type scenario, they don't only want to drive on a trail, they want to experience the town. They want to go out and do other things with their family while they're here. So that equates to more tourism dollars. It also makes greater exposure for what the town already has. And I think it would expand more to other areas like Griswold, Sterling, and so on and so forth. It wouldn't be just Voluntown. So the whole area would benefit from something like this. And also, this would be the first of its kind in the state of Connecticut. Not that it would make national news headlines or anything like that, or mainstream media, but it would be a big deal in my realm. I am part of a larger organization called the National Off-Highway Vehicle Conservation Council, and they've been trying to coach me along the way how to do this thing. And if we could make this work, it would be a humongous deal. So if we got involved in creating this sort of trail system for 4x4s, I really think it would maintain the rural character of Voluntown. And that's the whole reason why I moved here. I actually moved here in June of last year. And recreational spillover, that's kind of my own terminology. So just because you have 4x4 trails here, it doesn't mean that people aren't going to notice that you also have areas to go fishing at, to canoe at, to go hiking at, to do all of these things. Because honestly, most of the guys that do all this off-roading stuff are outdoorsy people. They're not just somebody that sits behind a wheel of a vehicle and goes through the woods. They do a lot of other things too. So it wouldn't necessarily be creating a business. It would be creating an opportunity for businesses that are already here to grow and attract new businesses into the area. So I don't want anyone to think of it as being a business proposition, because it wouldn't necessarily cost the town anything to create this sort of trail or trail system, however you want to call it. It would be $0 spent by the town of Voluntown, $0 spent by the state of Connecticut as well. Oh, and it makes the town more attractive to younger prospective residents, bringing in a younger crowd to the area. Knowing that we have these things available, I think would be very attractive to a lot of young people that probably want to live here. And these are just some of the clubs that are in the neighborhood. And the reason why I made this graphic is because if we were to do something like this, it would be only available to clubs that are, I guess, registered with the state of Connecticut or Rhode Island or Massachusetts, because I know for a fact that the DEP is looking for accountability. This would not be open to the general public. It would be on permission-based issue only by the park manager. If it's done by state land, because I know that, and within Voluntown, there's 146 state-owned parcels, which equate to 16,540 acres. That was as of 2018, which is actually more than the total amount of acreage that is available for the Patchogue Forest in Voluntown, meaning that it's more acreage than the Patchogue Forest, just in Voluntown, which I found quite intriguing. But these are just some of the clubs. There's not all of them here. This is just a taste. There's folks from Long Island that are dying to have something available closer to them. They'd come over on the ferry, drive up 395, go wheeling for the day, stay overnight, spend their money, buy the food, get lodging, camping, whatever they're going to do, and then go back home on Sunday. Same thing with folks in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Rhode Island has limited opportunities as well. So just to go over real quick what this plan would be like, we're going to be stepping out of the box of financials and numbers and dollars and cents for a minute. And I just created this list really quickly about how the plan would be, I guess, applied. First of all, the draft plan would be provided to the DEP or the town for approval and coordination. It would also be a collaboration. It wouldn't just be me spewing ideas and then expecting everybody to follow along. That's not how things work. I think we all know that. As I said, limited access to actual clubs. That way that there is some accountability. Oh yeah, the trail will have minimal impact on the local ecology. And what I mean by that is that it has to be planned in such a way that it does not create an issue with, say, water sources, watersheds, wetlands, things of that nature. And it's easily planned, honestly, as long as you use what you have available for resources like Friends of Patchogue that know the forest very well. They're actually very supportive of this sort of plan as long as it's done responsibly. And so is the park manager, Mark Darren. And there's a bunch of other stuff in there too. We don't have to go into that, but I will make this available to you. If you'd like, I can send a copy to you by email if you want. So let's define who an off-roader is. It's them, that person, and these guys. It's basically families. It's not the rogue 25-year-old guy in a Ford F-150 traipsing through the woods, trying to find a mud hole to get dirty in, get stuck in, and ruin the area. These folks want to have a good time with the family. They want to obey the rules, and they want to get out. They want to travel, and especially now with things are the way they are with COVID and things like that. Everybody's searching for a new outlet to blow off some steam and get out and do some new stuff. So this is one of them. The picture on the bottom is actually a touring agency out in Colorado. They take families on tours within that Jeep back there. I don't know how they fit 6 people in that thing, but God bless them. So where do these folks spend their money? I think that's pretty easy. Pretty much at small businesses. You'll see that they're going to be camping at the campgrounds that are available within town because they want to be close to where the trails are. They're going to buy food to wherever's closest. And they're going to utilize businesses here that honestly provide them some kind of service. And Bronson's actually has hardware and stuff like that available too. So that's basically what that is all about. And I actually did a survey in 2018. I surveyed about 75 off-roading families, and 95% of them preferred shopping, staying, and even local. They didn't really want to go far from where they were going to be recreating. In fact, they were looking for parks. There's actually designated parks where you can camp on the same property and you can enjoy the trails on the same property all in one unit. You don't have to go outside the property to do much of anything. And on an average weekend trip, off-roaders will spend around $750 per family for food, lodging, and expenses. That's a rough estimate. I received a lot of information that would probably boost that number up quite a bit, probably to around $1,000. But that's pretty close to being a good, solid weekend for a family doing that sort of thing. And that pretty much is the end of that. I just want to thank all of you for allowing me to be a part of your meeting tonight. And I hope that you guys like the presentation and have something to think about at least. And I hope we communicate further about this.
Questions?
Go ahead, Jack.
First, Matt, thank you. This is something that us surrounding and trying to promote the Patchogue State Forest for business is paramount in our minds and understanding of what Wallentown's about. However, you mentioned that you have spoken with Mark Darren. Is he, and you said he's agreeable with this?
Yes, he is.
Okay. What did he say in terms of the policing of these? You mentioned that the gates would be locked, but someone would have to open them up. Who would have the keys and how would that work?
So we're actually modeling this after something that takes place in Rhode Island. Rhode Island does something similar to what we're proposing. And how that works is basically the club or whoever is going to be representing the group event for that day is going to call Mark Darren, is going to call the main office at Patchogue, and they're going to arrange a time and a day to be there. And then Mark is going to issue them the key to the gate, and then they're going to drive over to where the trailhead is, open the gate with the key, and then do their thing, exit the trail, come back, make sure everything's locked, and then give Mark Darren the key back.
Ah, good. So there would be Mark would have designated trails for this and they would stay to those trails because have you seen our trails map, Matt?
Yeah, I have. I know all too well about what happens in Patchogue State Forest.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a Jeep skeleton like stuck in the woods by my house. So,
Oh, is it red?
yes, it's at Bailey Pond.
Yeah, we actually took that out of there.
Oh, my daughter was like petrified when we went hiking and it was on private property, but we
Yeah.
like back there, and she thought like there were going to be dead bodies in it. She was like,
No, we actually got permission from Mark and the private landowner
Yeah.
to remove that Jeep, and we did that back in October.
awesome, thank you.
Nice.
Tracy, was that over that little bridge?
Yeah, if you go over the little bridge and around, I think it's you go over the bridge and around back there
Yeah.
on the private property part. It connects like to the Rhode Island side because they were coming
Yeah.
into the Rhode
Okay.
Island side and out.
Well, it also connects over. I forget. It's like State Road
Yeah, on
1 or 2 or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's off of Shetucket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Thank you, Matt, for giving this
I got another
presentation.
question.
Oh, sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
Now, just as you had mentioned, Tracy, about that vehicle, what in the way of safety, Matt, if somebody breaks down, have you spoken, and what currently is the safety issue or the responders or our local fire department? Have you spoken to them at all? Because they would be the direct people that would have to come out and have in the past have to come out and if people stop and camp, for instance, I assume that Mark Darren would say, no, you can't camp on this trail. There's specific campsites. Have you spoken to him about that? And then if somebody gets hurt or on their have you spoken to the, in that, anything in that regard to who would be responsible for the safety? Who has spoken to the fire department about saving the people coming out there and so on?
Well, I haven't spoken to Mark or anybody else about the safety aspects or emergency response type things just yet. We haven't really gotten that far, but I mean, that can easily be done. I don't know what sort of feedback we would get from them, but and the only way to find out is to talk to them.
All right, all right. And then where in Rhode Island could we contact to, you mentioned that's important to see how it works from their point of view. Who would the
I
contact
think
person be?
the best person to contact is going to be the president of an organization called the NEA. And that stands for Northeast Association of 4x4 Clubs. And his name is, oh geez, hold on one second. I can grab it here.
Mark,
Trying
Matt,
to look through my messages to grab his name.
I'm more
His name
interested in the property owners
Oh, the property owners?
on which the activity is currently engaging.
Oh. Well, they only travel on state land. So
And-
when they go and they get permission, it's only from like what the DEEP would be to us. I don't know what their NCON folks are over
DEM.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that they contact their DEP and they get permission from them to travel on certain state properties. And they, you know, like I said, they have a calendar date to do it. They have a time. And it's the same process where they get keys and stuff like that. So I will direct you to a gentleman named Eric Weinbrandt. His name is spelled Weybrant. That's his last name. And he is the president of the NEA, and he can probably give you the contact information of the people that he talks to
Good.
in order to get that accomplished.
And his phone number or
Or if you feel more comfortable emailing it, because it's,
Yeah, that's what I was
we're
gonna
in a
Yeah.
public meeting, that's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah, you can contact me later
Yeah,
and
Or
I
you
can
can
send it to you, no
message it.
problem.
you can message it to me and I can email it to Jack.
Okay.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
I got one question. So Matthew, do you at least have like a checklist that you're going through for all these initiatives you want to do? You know, talk to Voluntown and then this one. I mean, there must be a plan in place or an idea that you want to do that you need to get done with all these little,
Yeah.
right, to a success story.
Absolutely. Over the last 5 years, it's been kind of an up and down kind of story, and I had to learn the hard way of how to do things. But a lot of the people that I've met have said that, you know, you have to get local support first before you head and try to take on the big dogs, which is the DEP. They're fully supportive of something like this, but the thing is that they need a little extra, I guess, motivation to make this happen. And where that's really going to come from is going to be local support.
Well, that's just one more piece of advice there, Matt, is that my understanding has been that the fire department here in Voluntown, the Voluntown Fire Volunteer Fire Department, it spends a significant amount of time and effort in the state forest on rescue missions.
Mhm.
And they also have a lot, because they're all residents in the town, a lot of say in support of you know, this kind of a project
Yep. I'm very aware of that. The one thing I can say, and I vouch for the gentlemen and ladies that do this often, because that they're in these clubs, they get trained on how to do things and definitely not how to do things. Everybody has safety gear on board, recovery gear on board, and when the group leaves the woods, nobody is left behind ever, unless something crazy happens, which is, maybe a 1% chance of something crazy happening out in the woods. But the most part, these are very safe folks. But I know that doesn't really necessarily matter at this point, because the fire department is the fire department.
Yeah.
And the town is the town government. So I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but it really doesn't mean much.
Well, I was just thinking, like, maybe all these clubs, maybe they already have records of their safety records. I don't know if that's an actual thing. I'm just trying to help you out. That's all that, right? Oh, look, you at least you'd have some numbers, right? Besides just saying, hey, they're all safe, or,
Yeah.
there's somebody qualified in their group who's always is trained as an EMT. I mean, I really don't know. I'm just coming up with ideas.
Oh, there's quite a few of those. I know that there are, well, when we actually got that Jeep out of the woods, down by that bridge,
Yeah.
there was 3 EMTs in the group. So there's actually quite a few guys that actually do that are EMTs. It seems to be a thing, I guess.
It's that adrenaline junkie.
I mean,
I
the
think
kicker is, I
yes.
already see these Jeeps with the pulleys getting fuel, right? I mean, I know they're already here, right? It just,
Yeah.
and when they get stuck, they're going to use the fire department or whatever, or an accident happens, they're going to call on them anyways, and then use the resource. It'd be nice. I don't know if Voluntown would have to have a 4x4 to get in to get people out. I don't even know.
Well,
I don't know enough.
I have to add to the safety stuff. When these folks go and do a trail run, is what they call it, a trail run, they travel in groups. They don't travel solo. And most of the time when you get calls for people asking for aid or asking for help, or there's an emergency or something like that, it's usually because they're traveling solo. They're out there by themselves and they've got nobody else to rely on for help of any kind. So that's mainly the reason why you see that. Because I know that does happen locally. I know it happens a lot, not just here, but in other parts of the state as well.
One suggestion for you, Matt, in regards to what we're talking about, the firehouse meets every Monday night. And that is suggestion, I think that you would call and try to get yourself as a guest there. Because as I said, that they are a major entity in town that does get involved in this. You do well to get there okay, because that would be significant for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Jody Grenier is the man to ask for, and there's others there that he's not the chief, he's just one of the advisors, but fire chief. But you could call the fire department and get yourself lined up on for a presentation.
So, yeah, Jack's right. No, I think your presentation was great. You've really done your research, and I think it's good. So,
Thank you.
Has Matt, has a location been identified in town where this would be taking place?
No, and that's part of the collaboration that needs to happen, because we're going to have to choose a very good area for it, because like I said, there can't be any wetlands, there can't be any, if there's a water crossing or something like that, we can take care of that because we can build bridges, no problem. But we just want to avoid sensitive areas like wetlands, or any areas that are deemed sensitive by Friends of Patchogue, because like I said, they know the area a lot better than any of us do. So I think that sort of collaboration is going to be necessary.
Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic, I guess, or cautiously in favor of this, I guess. I do think it's a great opportunity economically, but also reality is that Patchogue State Forest is the biggest asset to the town.
Mhm.
And that's the number one thing that we need to protect. Without the forest, we really don't have an economy. So, I'm a pretty avid hiker and, state forest user. So there's nothing that bothers me more than when I'm like 2 miles into a hike and come across a beer can or any kind of, litter. So I
Mhm.
guess that's my biggest concern. And I
Okay.
don't necessarily think the trash, would come from you guys. I don't think you guys would be the litter bugs, but I guess more so how once when you guys establish a trail, obviously word is going to get out and it's going to be promoted and whatnot. How do you prevent the non-group, people or the non-group users from keeping off of that trail when it's not, authorized?
Well, first thing, it's going to be gated. Um, and we already have plans that came from some folks out west for some gates that are better than the ones the DEP has.
Yeah.
Like the lock is hidden, you can't get to the lock unless you have a key. They're basically, you're not going to be able to rip it out of the ground, sort of thing, that kind of stuff. Because I know that over the winter time, there's been some vandalization, some of the gates at Patchogue.
Yeah.
I heard all about it. But their gates are pretty weak, to be honest.
Mhm.
So as long as the trail entrance and exit is constructed properly and it's got some sort of what we call trail filter on it, so it keeps out people that shouldn't be on the trail. So we're talking like, all the dirt bike and dual sport guys, they've got their own trails. They've got 60 miles of trail over there. So they shouldn't be on this thing. So it's all in the planning. It's all in how you stage it and set it up to make it work. That's how it's going to keep out people that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that, us, the EDC is just a small, we're a small group that you need to get, approval from or, but so I know you don't have to come up with your full plan for us, but basically like I've worked a little bit with Deep, and like I said, and I'm very familiar with the forest. I would agree that, yeah, probably the biggest concern is the entrances and the exits, because you can put the most sturdiest gate up, but I can't even tell you how many times, there's a new, knocked over tree or something. There's some kind of blazed trail 5 feet to the left of the gate.
Mhm.
So that's really my concern. And again, I don't think it's you guys that are going to abuse it. It's, working with Deep or working with of the all of the parties, including Friends of Patchogue Forest, to ensure that those people that don't belong on the trail don't get on the trail.
Yeah.
Because if the trail starts getting abused, it's gonna come back on you guys, and that's when you're gonna have issues. And you know that's what it's just like you and just like I'm relatively new to town. That's why we moved to town, is because of the quiet and the forest itself. So if the trails start getting abused, the town people are gonna get upset, and that's when you're gonna have a lot of pushback. So if you can ensure that the trails won't be abused, I think you'll have pretty good success.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for. We don't, we definitely don't want anybody in there that shouldn't be there, because we know what's going to happen. I see it all the time, and it's just, I gotta be honest though, in the last 5 years that I've been doing this and promoting all of this and trying to get people to do the right thing, it's gotten a lot better. I don't know around here because we're kind of, you know, in the boondocks, so to speak. But in other places, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I do see you guys as, you know, an ally. So you know, personally, I work in the Parks and Recreation industry. So I deal a lot with vandalism and everything. And I know the best way to get rid of people, you know, the bad people, the people that I don't want in your parks, is to attract, you know, positive tourism or positive, you know, patrons that are going to be doing the right thing. So I see you guys as an asset. But it's just making sure that I'm under the assumption that you guys would probably be doing trail work and would hopefully donate your time to or volunteer your time to clean up trails and, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, we have, I mean, between the clubs and the organizations around New England, there's people that are willing to donate their time to make this happen. Everybody's been kind of bugging me about it. When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do this? You know, it's been a long time to hold off, but now I think we're ready to do this sort of thing. The other thing is too, is that we have the opportunity for grants to invest money into this sort of thing. And 2 years ago, I actually got together with some people from the Connecticut Forest and Park Association, Connecticut Horse Council, and I think NIMBA, which is the New England Mountain Bike Association. And we convinced the DEP to opt back into the RTP grant system. I don't know if you know about that, but it's called the Recreational Trails Program. And it's a federally funded grant program just for outdoor recreation, specifically trails. So we're trying to get back into that. That offers, I think, pretty close to $1 million a year for funding. And, you know, it's something that we can take advantage of.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And thank you for
yeah, and I'll email you Jody Grenier's contact information. He is the fire chief over there, so he's the one to talk to, and I'll send you his email information.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Friends of Patchogue Forest are not here. For the all right, moving on to the farmers market. And
Mark,
Yep.
I've got under the reports and correspondence, I
yep.
would like to bring to everybody's attention that today I've got an email from a group from the Department of Energy Environmental Protection, DEP, in support of businesses applying for permits within their organizations. And I want to just share this with everybody. I sent that email out to everybody, but I wanted to bring it up to everyone's attention.
Yep.
There is a webinar. It's called Advanced CT, presenting the Connecticut Conference with Connecticut Conference of Municipalities and the Connecticut Economic Development Association next Wednesday, March 24th, 11 a.m. You need to, the title of it is called Striking the Right Balance in Land Use and Economic Development. So this, I think, sounds like an appropriate, very appropriate webinar for us to attend. You have to go online and make your reservation for it, but it's 11 o'clock next Wednesday, March 24th. So I'm hoping that they're going to have it recorded as well. But I certainly will try to listen to it. Maybe as many as you can attend that, I think that would be appropriate too. It's called the Client Concierge Service Team. Will act as a central point of contact and guiding applicants through environmental permitting and review process in a timely manner. This is for these kind of projects.
Yeah, it does look interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to attend, just because of my job,
Sure.
but if I can, I will. Does Jack, do you plan on attending?
Yes, I
Okay.
will.
All right. Yeah, it definitely is intriguing. All right. Does anyone else have any correspondence or any other reports?
I just got an email. I checked the emails before, and there was just someone that wanted to get an application for the farmer's market, but I guess all of the application links work except for the one for that one. So I'm gonna, after the meeting, I'll go and double check and see what's wrong with it. So,
Okay. Just to move along for the farmers market and Facebook. As far as the farmers market, I don't have any updates. I do hope to kind of take care of the sponsor packet in the next couple of weeks. I'll send that out to you guys just, to get your approval before I send out, to potential sponsors. But pretty much, I think and I've mentioned this, basically the plan would be to significantly lower, here, let me just pull it up. Pretty much ask for about $200, I think it was, per market, or sorry. Okay, so I came up with a kind of a new thing called sponsor a market, and you can sponsor 3 markets for $300, 2 markets for $250, or 1 market for $150. The sponsors can just pick what they want, and then then we'll work with them. And then as far as what they receive for being a sponsor, their name and logo will be displayed at every market on a shared sponsor banner. If we have a musician, we'll give them just brief recognition, through the musician, just saying, thank you to all of our sponsors. And then an opportunity for the company to have a promotional table at 1 market each month, and then their name on a link, or sorry, their company website link on our voluntown.biz website. So pretty straightforward. Again, I'll finish that up soon, and then I'll send that out to you guys before I
So you meant a
send it out.
sponsorship per week, right? Not per month?
Per market. Yeah.
Yeah, per market. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Since we are talking about markets, can you guys send me an email of what you want the signs to be for this year, so I can make sure that gets done for whatever they're going to say?
So pretty much exact same thing, except with the updated dates. And then, if your graphic guy can, maybe switch up the graphics a little bit. I know last year.
Okay, I will get some samples, but I want it in email form of you guys saying what the dates are. I just want to know what it's going to say, and I can get that going. Get you some.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
That's easy. But yeah, that's all I have for the market. Does anyone else have any other updates for the market?
Oh, just that Vinny contacted me, and I sent everybody in regards to a potential new vendor, and this vendor had cast iron pots and pans that he wanted to sell. And this is somebody like that approached us last year or the year before, and I didn't see any reason why we would want to exclude him. It's another another, means of expanding the market. They're going to cook the food in these cast iron utensils, cooking utensils. So I thought that would be appropriate. And then, of course, I went and attended that. I sent everybody out that information about the conference.
Yeah, yep.
So, and basically, it was a 5-day conference the end of last month. And I thought the ones that, the days that we should look at would be Thursday and Friday, which would be more in line with market managers. I was confused. I missed the 2 days, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, that talked about the market managers section. And did attend the Thursday and Friday, which talked specifically more in regards to the actual vendors themselves on how to do diversification with their product and enhance their presentation and their success in their endeavors there for produce and such. That information I sent on to everybody, and I also sent it on to Vinny. So
Thank you. All right. As far as Facebook, I don't have any updates. Tracy, do you? All right. And what about the website? Oh, you're muted.
I just have to fix that link that I got the email about. So, and the
Okay.
email just came in yesterday. So I'll
Yeah.
double check and see what's going on.
Okay. Business development and planning and zoning. As far as planning and zoning, I was a part of the last planning and zoning only for a brief period, because I disagreed with the vote that was made at the beginning of the meeting, so I chose not to stay on. But Jack, did you stay on for the rest of the planning and zoning meeting?
yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So Judith made a presentation, and in support was Juliet Hodge, most of it was Juliet Hodge's presentation because she took all the notes and put everything together in regards to the changes and amplifications of the various sections that we looked at, and presented that to the planning and zoning. And they basically understood that fact that that they need to make the changes. There was some back and forth about the poor quality that it was. And they indicated that they were under the gun because they had worked on it, what they felt was sufficient for a year and a half, and they relied heavily on the Northeast COG to help them finish it. And of course, that's in concert with when planning and zoning had done these plans in the past with the Southeast Connecticut COG. And so they didn't do anything different, but it just, the quality was a lot to be desired. And so she presented the items to them, and they said they're going to review them as they move along, and they have time to within the 10-year time frame here to make the changes. Without getting into all of the details on these, then the issue was about trying to get Juliet Hodge recognized as a member of the planning and zoning, and that was Judith Alec indicated that Juliet Hodge's application for that position, which needs to be filled, was about 4 pages long of all of her degrees and accomplishments and the fact that she herself is a planner for North Stonington, and that she would be extremely valuable to the planning and zoning because of all of her expertise in it and degrees and certainly she's doing the job and getting paid for it in North Stonington and here acting as a non-paid person, but a part of the commission. She would do this in that position for no financial benefit. And that was objected to. They took a vote on it and they voted for another person who had been on planning and zoning a couple of terms ago and in lieu of Juliet Hodge. The final part of it was that they came back and they said, now with all of these changes that have been brought forward to us, how are we going to do this? So it was agreed by the planning and zoning that they would pay Juliet Hodge for her effort to make these changes. And they asked her for what it would cost, and she said she would work up an estimate for them for the next meeting. And that's basically it.
Yeah. So solely as a town resident, I was extremely disappointed by the decision and extremely frustrated because I think it certainly was not in the best interest of the town. And actually, I did not know. Sorry, what's that, Al?
No, I was saying, you think you can just have more than one person on a committee with so short of people all the time, right? If a committee's 3, just have a committee be 4 people, right? I mean,
Well, the committee is how many people are on it? 5 or 6?
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and there was 1 vacancy, 2 applicants, and not taking anything away from one particular applicant, but there seemed to be a clear favoritism.
I'm just saying that in the private sector, you normally, if you have a stellar candidate, you just open up an extra position to hire that employee for your job.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just saying the town could have just said, we only have 6 openings, but is there some law that says they can't have 7 people on?
Yeah,
the
it's
zoning?
by statute. It's
Oh, I didn't know enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep quiet.
No, that's fine. And actually, yeah, thank you, Jack. I did not know that. So the town is now going to pay for her services.
Correct. Which is only fair. I mean, she offered to do it for free.
It certainly is fair, but certainly not in the best interest of the town. That again, that's my sole resident opinion. So, all right. Any other comments about the meeting?
No.
All right. All right. Moving on to Eastern Connecticut tourism. Tracy, do you have any updates?
Well, we're working on our campaign. Well, we're working on getting our Eastern Connecticut tourism marketing plan approved by the state. The state, we have a contract with the state. Our plan has to align with their plan on promoting the state, and it has to work with the other tourism districts too. So that's where we are with getting the marketing plan for this year moving forward. It looks like I was in a meeting this week for the state marketing plan is to focus on getting back out to the restaurants, getting back to events, getting back to things, but in a safe way. And that's what the plan is.
Mhm.
So things are opening up,
Yep.
starting what, today? Did they open up more stuff today? Because it was,
Tomorrow, 19th, I think.
yeah, so things are opening up. And I just got our totals, our like COVID totals for the week, for the past 2 weeks, and we're still in gray. So that's great. That's less than 5 cases over a 2-week period. So that's good too,
Good.
for everything.
Yeah, that is exciting. Yeah, hopefully we can stay on the right track.
Yep.
So, all right. And then as far as our grant from Eastern Connecticut Tourism, there aren't any updates, but I will, now that we are getting into hopefully a little bit warmer weather, early spring, I'll reach out to Eagle Eye to see if he can wrap up, his portion of the project. And then I'll also reach out to Ryan from Friends of Patchogue Forest to make sure that they are, all set with their portion. And then I can't remember if it was February. I spoke with Julie Zelensky about just how to take care of the financing, and she's all set to essentially pay Eagle Eye and also James Dodd with the map. So as soon as we give her the go ahead, she can take care of the financial aspect, and then we should be all set. The only thing is, before we publish anything, we need to get approval from Eastern Connecticut, or not Eastern Connecticut, but the state tourism council, or whoever that group is. So we just need to get approval of our marketing material before we publish it. So,
And one of the other things I forgot too is the tourism district, we're trying to build our photo portfolio and our video, anything for marketing, photos, videos. So to promote our area. So
Yeah.
anything that we get, if we can pass it on to the tourism district, it'll work in promotional clips for our area too. So.
yeah. So, and I think that was part of the grant, is that all, which is perfect, because that's essentially what Eastern Connecticut Tourism is trying to do, is exactly what we are trying to do.
Yeah.
The purpose of us getting the grant. So that's good to hear. Hopefully our photos will be of top priority or something. So
Now, Mark, you mentioned that whatever we do in regards to promoting tourism, whatever we publish and such has to be pre-approved by them. And now I'm talking in specifically to the trails maps.
yes.
We have
So
to get them to try to approve our trails maps now too.
that's my understanding, and it's more so they're not going to tell us, this trail is wrong. It's more so just to make sure that we have the right wording on it. Something that says like, this map was published, with the Eastern Connecticut Tourism Grant, and then to make sure that we have the right logo on it. It's that aspect. They're not going to critique anything about the actual trails or anything to do with Voluntown. It's more so just to make sure that we had the right wording on it.
Everything that you had from them, I've given to James Dodd, and he has taken that information and put it on his map already.
Yep.
And he's,
Yeah. So once when he has his like final draft, we'll send it over to Eastern Connecticut Tourism, or sorry, I don't remember the agency, the state agency. What is it?
Is it for the Eastern Connecticut Tourism District, or is it the state tourism that needs to check it?
I think it's the state tourism.
Yeah, because they want to make
Yeah.
sure that everyone's using the same logo and the
Yep.
same wording. So they just probably want verification on that before it goes out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really too worried about it,
Yeah, they're
simply
not
because,
anything else. It's just gonna be that. They want to make sure their marketing symbols are all the same.
yep, yep. So yeah, once when James Dodd has his final draft, we'll just forward it on to the state agency. And then I'm assuming it will be a quick turnaround because they probably understand that, it's meant to be a marketing material. So, especially for the spring. So,
All right, so he's gonna send the final draft to.
well,
who?
he can send it to us. He can send it to you, me, or Tracy, or Al.
I'll have him send it to me and then I'll hook up with you guys to where we send it to the state.
Yep.
Because that's getting us right into the trails map part.
Yep.
And he wants to print out the maps in April, May. So he
And-
wants to be
okay,
all done
and-
with this and get this thing rolling here. He's
So have them send it as soon as possible.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to Eagle Eye, this week, and because he might have old photos that he can use for spring and summer, so he might be
Yeah, and
able to.
That's what what James was saying is that because Griswold backed out of their deal with him on $1,000 that he gets from them. What he had to take up their places with more advertisements. So he's had success at that, and he's ready to move. And what he's saying is that he's got the additional people, and his promotion says that he's going to get this out and have people hiking on the trails and people having these maps in June. That's his goal.
Yep.
And that's what he's pushing forward to. So, okay, I got it. We'll make sure I get that draft out, and that's good.
All right.
I invited him to come to these meetings, virtual meetings, but I guess it's tough for him at nights or whatever. So, okay.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other updates for the trails map?
No.
All right. Any historical updates?
No, other than what I heard on the selectmen's meeting about the Wiley Schoolhouse and the painting of that and so on, but Tracy could talk to you better on that one.
Yeah, we want to try and get it painted before the tricentennial meeting. So as soon as it gets warm and soon as the weather gets warm enough where we can paint it, we'll be getting a group together.
Nice.
With COVID.
Yeah, with COVID.
Yeah, excited. When is the tricentennial? Is it in May or June?
May.
May. Okay.
It's in May, and we're going along with the plans as planned, and we're just waiting to see what happens with COVID. So
Yeah. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of fun things coming, so
Mhm.
that will be fun. I'm excited for the lumberjacks. That's what I'm
Yeah.
mostly excited for.
one of my
Bought a
friends,
lot of shirts.
Yeah.
friends is lumberjacks, and he's all excited about it too. He's been training, so
The lumberjacks and the reenactors.
yeah.
So, all right. As far as the budget, I sent it out to you guys. Do you guys have any edits or amendments that you'd like me to make to it? I can review it quickly if you want me to.
I think you can probably do a screen share if you feel like it.
Yeah, and yes,
Sure.
I didn't see it, but
Yeah.
you mentioned it, there's no changes, Mark, right?
No,
last
no,
one?
there aren't.
Yeah.
I've never
Did you
done a
put-
screen share before. Oh, okay, here we go.
Did you put musicians in there?
No, I don't believe so. Let
All
me double check.
That would be a big expense for the farmers, $1,000, farmers market.
All right, so let's see, screen
Got money for
share.
Al signs, right?
What's that?
You have money for Al's signs, right?
Yeah, well, so here, let me just pull it up.
Yeah, like I said before, I don't need any cash for signs. I just need to know what you guys need. That's all.
Oh, good.
All right,
Yeah.
is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really did just keep the same as last year, so we can make adjustments now. Because I wasn't sure exactly,
Yeah.
What-
The money
we
that you
had
got in there,
plans.
almost $3,000 for the farmer's market,
yeah,
that includes money for the signs, includes musicians. Yeah.
okay. All
Good.
right, so the almost 3,000 is sufficient for musicians and signs?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just hit tab 2 over here. See what that comes up there.
you mean this?
All right, I guess nothing there. Okay. All right.
I think, I made this, I had to recopy it.
Okay.
Because I think you sent it to me in a PDF.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then as far as the questions that went along, what are your accomplishments? We hosted the farmers market during COVID with about 150 customers. We partnered with Friends of Patchogue Forest to get a grant for $4,900. We continue to publish a Valentine Trails map. We are in the process of getting a photography and videography portfolio made. We made a transition from you, Jack, being chairman, to myself.
Gotta get your name in there, Mark.
No, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
New chairman, Mark Simmons.
Yeah.
Good.
Elected a new chairman at Jack West. All right. What changes would you like to see for your commission? We'd like to see more coordination with the planning and zoning,
Oh, good. That's good.
and also to fill any open vacancies on the commission. What are your goals for the next 5 years? Continue to have the farmers market. We hope to have a community developer, and when we do, we hope to work with them. We hope to develop a stronger relationship with local businesses, and we'd like to, develop a plan for, a Church Street revitalization, or at least assist with any planning of a revitalization.
Good.
Are you seeking an increase, decrease, no change to your budget? We are seeking no changes. What are your capital project needs? No capital projects. What trainings do you need? We're satisfied with current trainings. And any suggestions for the Board of Selectmen, simply to support the addition of a community developer. So.
I got a question. So
Sure.
one thing is, not till we can drop it off, did we ever look into actually getting an outlet all the way out there?
Oh,
Yes.
I
That's
don't.
a capital need or whatever like that, but sooner or later, that's my wish list always, like, it'd be nice to just have power right there.
Now, I checked it with this, with the superintendent and through the new maintenance fellow there at the school.
Mhm.
And we tap into that line that's out there, it knocks out all the lights. They can't.
All right, never mind.
There has to be a whole new power run out there. So
All right.
it's a big deal.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it is inconvenient, but I guess the extension cord does work for now.
So I
Yeah,
just had a
so-
memory of one of the years when I think that maybe the first year we plugged the bouncy house into the school and it like blew all the fuses.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. All right. So that's it for the budget. So if everyone is in agreement, I will
Make a
submit
motion to
the-
accept the budget as presented.
Make a motion and we accept the budget as presented.
Are you seconding, Al?
Sure, I approve. I mean, second, yes.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Nay, or none. Um, All right, so I will submit that and then we are all set with the budget. All right, any old
Yeah,
business?
that's that advanced CT that I was talking about.
Oh, yes, yep, yeah, oh yeah, forgot that I'm on
Good.
screen share. Yep, yeah, I was looking at it before our meeting, so,
Good.
all right, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, and then any old business?
Oh, I remembered this when you were going through something. One of the things that the tourism district is planning on doing are workshops for businesses
Hmm,
in the area about getting back to things after COVID. So
Good.
when they start launching those, I will share the information.
good. I guess like a business shout out, and maybe Tracy, you know a little more about this. Is there like a new brewery or tap room coming to partner with Tamarack? Have you heard of that?
I don't know anything about it.
I saw about a month ago, there is a new brewery or tap house, I think partnering with Tamarack. So I think it was Owl something. Owlhead Brewery or something. There, I don't want to give out the wrong. Yeah, Owlhead Brewery is moving to Tamarack, so shout out to Owlhead Brewery. I'm excited to go try it. So, all right. Any new business? None. All right. Any suggestions for next meeting? All right. All right. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to
I second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All those opposed? None.
No.
All right. Meeting is adjourned at 8:21.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.